Welcome to another episode of Ingrid's World. I am your host, Ingrid Hicklin. On this show, you will meet Dutch Martin, yoga instructor, speaker, and trainer. He will trace his journey of success, challenges, and reinvention. He will wow you with his journey. And then we'll speak one-on-one with Anya Wheeler, Ingrid's World teen correspondent, who's off to college. Do you remember when she first appeared in Ingrid's World 5 years ago? Well, Anya will recount her success in high school and on stage. Our last guests are Tyler and Trevell Coleman and Alyssa Hicklin, and they will discuss the organization of Black Aerospace Professionals Aviation Career Education Academy. They will tell us about their experience flying and how they want to be pilots, engineers, and air traffic controllers. So let's reach for the stars with our guests. Well, welcome to the show, Dutch Martin. Glad to have you here.
Thank you, Mrs. Hicklin. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Well, let's tell our viewers where you're from, and let's get started on your, telling people about your journey.
Well, I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, but I lived in the Washington, D.C. area since 1999. I worked for the federal government for 11 years, and then through a series of challenging events, I found my calling was to become a speaker, a motivator, and that segued into becoming a certified yoga instructor. And this is after years of being a gym rat pumping iron.
A gym rat pumping iron, very nice. So what's some of the high points of your career?
Well, I was a Foreign Service officer with the State Department for 11 years. I traveled and worked in the Central African Republic, Morocco, where I met my lovely wife. Hi, Ibby. Love you, dear. And we've been married almost 14 years. We have a beautiful 6-year-old son named Luther. Served in West Africa as well. So I got to travel the world, speak French and other languages, meet some amazing people. And I really matured in so many ways as a result of my experience working for the government.
So when I was reading, you also discussed some low points in your career too.
Well, I resigned in July of 2010 because I was just burnt out. I got to the point where it just wasn't fulfilling anymore. Wow. I tried to start my own business, but this was, of course, during the economic recession. So my wife and I, we were expecting our first child. We moved out west of Las Vegas, Nevada to try to start a business. Didn't work out. Things were very, very challenging. But looking back on that time, it really enabled me to develop some emotional muscle.
Wow.
And it helped me basically validate that, as a man, as a father, as a husband, I will do whatever I have to do to provide for my family. It was a tough time. We ultimately moved back to the Washington, D.C. area in 2011, and we did get back on our feet. We both found work. For the past several years, things have been wonderful. And it was at that time that I realized that, something is missing in my life. Something is really missing. Okay.
And what was that?
Well, I was pretty much beat up emotionally and mentally from going through that, what I call our family's own economic recession. And I had landed a full-time job, and I was grateful for it, still am. But emotionally, I was pretty much a wreck. My manhood had taken a beating for not being able to find a job for 3 years to provide for my family. And so I thought about yoga. And unlike most guys, I never looked at yoga as something that was just for females. I just thought of it as another form of exercise. And the first time I took a yoga class, when it was over, it was the first form of exercise that I had experienced where I felt exhausted and exhilarated at the same time. And I said, oh my God, I need to feel this more and more and more.
Right. That's powerful. So, and I like the way that you speak about this. So how does the public speaking fold into the yoga?
Well, they say that the average person fears public speaking more than they fear death. Fortunately, I've never had that
that's
fear.
Good. Okay.
So, as a yoga instructor, when you're leading a yoga class, you're speaking, and more specifically, you're speaking to encourage each student to embrace their possibilities, to see what's possible for them, not only on their yoga mat, but off their yoga mat as well.
Nice.
And me being a motivational speaker in training, I always add a little extra oomph to it to focus my students on focusing on a goal and dedicating their practice to a goal that may seem far outside of their comfort zone, but I remind them that that goal was given to them and to them alone for one reason, that only they have what it takes to make that goal a reality.
Wow. And I think that that's so important. So there's pictures that we're showing of you and yoga, standing on your head. How
that
about
was at
that
my son's preschool. I thought that would be a good idea, and the kids got a good kick out of it.
I know they did. That was all they talked about for the next few weeks. Months.
My son's preschool teacher, she banned me for about a week. No, I'm kidding.
That's like amazing.
She enjoyed it too.
She had, definitely. Well, I really would love to, what has been, your philosophy in terms of, being able to meet life's challenges?
Well, the first thing that I did when my family was going through that tough time, I had to literally saturate my mind with as much positive personal development, motivational content as I could.
Beautiful.
Because it's so easy for all the negative thoughts of self-loathing, self-doubt, disappointment, anger to seep into our conscious and subconscious mind and basically take over. So I had to counteract that. I was reading books, listening to audio CDs, podcasts, watching YouTube videos of nothing but positive motivational messages from people like Napoleon Hill, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Mamie Brown's baby boy, John Maxwell, and I just literally had to deluge my mind with all of this positive reinforcement, if for no other reason, to keep the negative thoughts at bay. And that worked.
But apparently, because look at you, how successful you are. In fact, you spoke at my Rotary Club. That's how we met. And you're speaking other places too?
Yes. Well, I currently teach yoga at the Falls Church Wellness Center, 529 North Washington Street, Falls Church, Virginia, as well as Core Power Yoga and their Northern Virginia locations of Clarendon and Pentagon City.
Okay.
So, and I'll be also, I've been asked to be the keynote speaker at a yoga and physical therapy conference just outside of Chicago in October, sponsored by an organization called Pulses that does medical research on the benefits of yoga and physical therapy. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be, yoga is like one of these, cutting edge, exercises that, they said a lot of things that we should all incorporate yoga into our lifestyle.
Absolutely. I mean, right now, the medical community is finally realizing not only the health and wellness benefits of yoga, but benefits in terms of calming the mind and calming the central nervous system and expediting the healing of a lot of diseases that most doctors just prescribe pills and potions for.
Right. Pills and potions, and we don't want pills or potions. Well, it's, we have 1 minute left, and what would be words of encouragement would you like to give to people who are watching this show? If they're faced with tough times, what would you like to tell them?
Stay positive, surround yourself with positive people, and I'd like to end with a quote from Dr. Howard Thurman.
Okay.
Imagine you lying on your deathbed, and sitting around your deathbed are the ghosts of the dreams, the goals, the ideas, the talents, and the gifts that were given to you by life, but for whatever reason, you never acted on any of them. And they're standing around your deathbed, staring at you with large, angry eyes, saying, "We came to you, and only you could have given us life, but now we must die with you forever." Think about that. Whatever goals you have in your life, whatever aspirations, talents, and gifts, you owe it to yourself to make those come true.
Okay, so I'm going to have you back on Ingrid's World co-host because you're wonderful.
My pleasure.
Wow. Dutch, thank you so much for being on the show and saying those beautiful words to encourage our viewers and myself too, because that's what it's all about.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Definitely. We thank Dutch Martin for being on the show and discussing his fantastic journey. Coming up next, we will talk with Anya Wheeler, Ingrid's World Teen Correspondent. Well, welcome to the show, Anya.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here. Well, teen correspondent. I feel like it's a swan song. Well, let's start with the graduation. You know, what's your favorite memory from graduating?
I think it wasn't necessarily the graduation, but practicing with all of my friends. It was really cool to see that moment come together. We had a sequence where we all, there were like 4 lines, one on one side and 4 lines on the other side, and we met in the middle of our football field. So we did like this cross in between, and it was really pretty.
What high school is this?
Woodbridge Senior High School in Woodbridge. And yeah, so it's a tradition to have to graduate on our football field, and we're one of the only schools in the county that does it.
Yeah, because everything is always indoors.
Yeah, and it was really special for us to be one of the only schools to do that, to graduate on the field. It was really cool.
So now, what are your plans now after high school?
Well, I'll be attending James Madison University in the fall, and I'll be studying international business with a concentration in marketing and a foreign language specialty in French.
And French? Wow. That's pretty outstanding. I'm excited. And now, what awards did you receive at senior night?
I received the Presidential Award for having a GPA over 3.5, which is what they give to students that have met that requirement or exceeded that requirement. And then I also received the Outstanding Executive Chair Award for my work on the philanthropy committee and the Student Activities Leadership Council.
You know, that's like powerful. This beautiful picture of you holding your awards,
Yes.
and I just felt as if that was so powerful. So now, you are also a star of stage. Tell us about that.
Yes, I was in the Center for Performing Arts program at my school, and the last musical I was in was The Wiz, and we did, and as performing in The Wiz, I was a part of an ensemble called the Yellow Brick Road. So basically, it's a character where basically you just perform, you follow Dorothy and Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Lion around, and you sing with them and you dance with them, and it's a really fun experience. So you're on stage a lot, so it was really fun.
Oh my goodness. And then did you also direct a play?
Yes, I directed my own one-act play as a requirement for the program I was in, and by the end of senior year, you're supposed to direct your own play. So I found a play called In the Meantime, and it's basically about a couple who's just going through relationship problems, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to resolve all of their issues within a matter of like 7 minutes. And it's a comedy, it's like a romantic comedy, so it was really, really fun to get to work with my actors and get to produce my own content, because I thought it was really fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed directing.
Yeah, because there's a picture of you on stage directing. My goodness. Was that hard to do?
At times it's fun. It's really hard sometimes to communicate exactly what you want your actors to do, because they can have a different vision from what you have. So sometimes it's just making sure your actors kind of push your vision through, because sometimes they may not always like understand or be up to what you necessarily want them to be. But yeah, at the end it was all good though. It was all fine.
And then I also see that you were a Girl Scout.
Yes, I was a Girl Scout. I was a Girl Scout.
Did you sleep? I just want to find out. Did you sleep much in high school?
Not really. Not really. As much as I wanted to, I didn't. I went to sleep really late. But Girl Scouts, I started Girl Scouts in the 4th grade, and I went all the way until I was senior in high school. And that's not something common for most people to do.
Very uncommon.
It's very uncommon, because most people are like, Girl Scouts, you know, it's not always considered cool. But I did it for the leadership purposes and the opportunities, and I loved camping, and you know, you learn a lot of yes. And
you
learn a lot of
camping?
Yes, I love camping. It's so fun, and you learn a lot of useful skills, like leadership skills, while you're in there. And I made a lot of friends, and I just stayed primarily for the friends and the experience.
I've always admired you, but now to hear that you also know how to camp.
Yes.
Like, that's amazing to me. So what type of leadership roles did you have in high school?
In high school, I was a fundraising captain for my student council. So basically, our goal was to reach $10,000 by the end of the year, which we exceeded. We ended up making about like $12,300 and something dollars. But the goal was to raise money for my class and to manage all the different just the money and all those things. So I was in charge of that. I was also a philanthropy executive chair for the Student Activities Leadership Council, which basically means I handled all of the community service projects that dealt with the whole school. So we had an amazing donation experience where you could just donate where you pick a child, your class picks a child around the holiday time, and they you just donate a whole bunch of things that they need, and then the children don't know, they think it's just their parents, but it turns out, you know, a whole bunch of school students from our school donated lots of the things that they need, like coats, jackets, toys, different things like that.
That just means so much. And is that the picture with you at the, I think that you have like, there's signs that you're holding up.
Oh yes, yeah, different signs, yes, yeah, that was fun.
So when you think back to your high school career, what is one thing that you're so happy that you did?
I think I'm happy that I made the connections and made the friends that I made. Most of my friends are going on to do great things, and I feel like they're a really strong influence. Like I'm best friends with who was the class president of our school, and we just we've always been really, really close, and that was something, that's a connection I'm glad I made. I'm glad I made connections with my teachers. I made really strong connections with my teachers, and I talk to them like all the time, even now, even though I've graduated.
Really?
Yes, I write them letters, and they message me on like GroupMe, and we just, you know, we have a really strong bond.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm glad that I had mentors, and I'm glad I had lots of great people to surround myself with.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So for the person who is a high school student or a student, what advice do you have for them?
I would advise to take your studies seriously, make sure you allocate time to study and do all those good things, but also like really enjoy the high school experience. Go out to the football games and just see things that you've never really seen before, like go to plays, go to baseball games, go to like the robotics competitions, because it really shows that you support other things, and you can realize, man, I really like the other activities we have going around school, and it gets you educated and it makes you, involved.
So just don't go to school, come back, and study.
Yeah, your studies are something that's important, but being involved in your school is even more important. I think that's one of the best things about high school that I enjoyed, is that I was involved in school. And for the people that weren't, it was really, it was really awkward to see them just go home and come back, and they didn't really have anything, fun to do and like anything to latch onto. But I always had a community around me. Wow. I was in so many things.
Wow. What made you want to do that?
I don't know. I'm a really eclectic person. Like, I just like being involved in different things, and I like people, and all the different aspects that piqued my interest in high school. There was an opportunity for me to join them, and I was really excited about that. So I just joined theater and student council and all those different things, and choir, and because those are things that I love to do. And when you love something, you got to go after it, and you got to enjoy yourself with it.
Well, Anya Wheeler, you're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You are just already, to the stars, to the galaxy. You're fantastic.
Thank you.
And I hope that you will come back again and give us some further update on what's happening in Anya's world.
Okay.
Thanks again for being
Thank you.
Guest.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up next, we'll be talking with Tyler Coleman, Trevell Coleman, and Alyssa Hicklin about the organization of Black Aerospace Professionals Aviation Career Education Academy. So please stay right there. We'll be right back. Well, Tyler, Trevell, and Alyssa, I'm thrilled to have you all on this show. Welcome back, because you all have been on this show before. So now you're here about the Aviation Academy. Who's going to tell me a little bit about that? Should we start with you, Tyler?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, the Aviation Academy, I mean, when you want to first enroll in the Aviation Academy, it's like basically for people who want to learn more about aviation. Mm-hmm. And what I can tell you about it is like, it's yeah, you get to go on different places and it helps you better understand the difference between aviation and what planes,
Right.
that stuff.
Very important. And apparently you all did very well. Trevell, what did you learn?
Well, I learned lots of stuff. We learned about how hard is it to be a plane trafficker, and flight pilots have to go through this sort of training every day.
Every day.
Yeah, well, monthly, something like that.
Wow. Well, how? And there was a photograph of you that we have that you're in back of the plane. How did that feel? Was it?
I mean, it didn't feel like how it was last year because I wasn't driving it.
Because last year you were actually driving.
I said flying it, yeah.
Alyssa, were you driving this time?
Yes, I was.
You actually were driving. You were in the driver's seat.
Yes.
Of an airplane. Oh my goodness! So we have a picture of you climbing into that plane. That's you. Ooh, how did it feel?
It was very thrilling. Like, I was nervous at first, but while I was flying it, I felt fine.
You felt fine? Okay, because I remember you saying like, oh, I think I might crash. But that didn't even come up, huh? So what kind of activities did you do?
Well, the activities we did, we got to build drones.
Ooh.
And we got to make our own, motored airplane. So basically you would just throw it and then the motor would propel it forward like even more. And it was basically like a contest.
Wow.
Like we would just challenge other people and see who won.
Were the classes in aviation difficult, Trevell?
I mean, I guess it was difficult, but we really just learned about the physics and how planes work, and because we were building a rocket and stuff like that.
Wow. And then Alyssa, as a result, what career are you thinking about now?
I'm definitely considering being an air traffic controller now that I've gone through this academy.
Oh, really? Why air traffic controller?
Because it was very interesting, and when I first got into it, I was thinking, this would be, a great job for me in my future career.
Wow.
So, and I enjoyed learning about it, so I was considering that.
So now, tell me about these that you received. Now, this one that you have here, this is, so this was what you received at your program?
Yeah.
Wow. So you use this all the time. And I see you have a lot of people who help make the organization. So you had meetings you met at the community college, Northern Virginia Community College. Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. And then I guess, did you visit, that's where you had people from United Airlines.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, right. Because we have a beautiful picture that that we're showing there from the Coast Guard was there. You had a commander from the Coast Guard. You had a person from United. In fact, Captain Minter is from United. Outstanding pilot. So, and then you also received this too. But most importantly, tell me about what this reads. I think this is yours, Tyler. And this is yours, Alyssa. And Trevell, here's yours. So let's start that off. What does yours say?
Certificate of Participation. This award proudly certifies that Tyler, son Coleman, that's me, has successfully completed 5 days of the aviation career education. Wow. The ACE Academy teaches students about careers in aerospace, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM. Sponsored by the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals, or the OBAP, and the National Black Coalition of Federal Aviation Employees.
Wow, that's powerful. And then you have another certificate. Trevell, what's that for?
This certificate was for Dulles Aviation Corporation.
Wonderful. And what does it say there?
It says Flight Experience awarded to Trevell Sutton Coleman, July 13th, 2017. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And now, Alyssa, you received a very prestigious patch there.
Oh, this? He explained to us at the end that you won't find this anywhere else, like in stores or nothing like that. That this
Show our
was
viewers that.
very unique.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. So that you only you receive that, and that's kind of, let's say, one of a kind. It's very prestigious. Do you know anything more about it?
Not really.
It has a lot to do with safety for the White House and all the different sectors of government they come to protect. So that's wonderful. So what was your favorite part of being in the program?
My favorite part about being in the program, well, basically was to fly a plane. Yeah. You know, and my other favorite is like when we got to do simulators of how to fly a plane.
Ooh.
You get to see different planes, like you get to use different planes and how they work, like how fast they go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Trevell, what was your favorite part?
I guess it was the same thing, but being like the back of the plane was pretty weird.
It was pretty weird. Oh, wow. And Alyssa, what was your favorite part?
I enjoyed the experience of getting to fly the plane, and I also enjoyed every single field trip we went to because I learned a lot of things about aviation that I haven't known before.
You enjoyed every single field trip? Wow, that's great. That's great to hear that. So I want to know, I'm kind of afraid to ask this question. Are you coming back? Are you going back?
Definitely, yeah, I'm coming back.
Tyler's definitely coming back. Trevell, what about you?
Yes, I'm going back.
Yes.
And I'm going to fly the plane this time.
And you're going to fly the plane this time. And Alyssa, what about you?
Yes, I'm coming back.
Wow. So what about for kids who are out there and they're like, oh, that sounds like that's too hard to do for the summer. What words of advice do you have for them? What would you tell them, Tyler?
That if you have something you wanted, like if you have something you want, you better put your mind to it, because if you aviation to me is an opportunity, and you want to grasp every opportunity you have. And if you want to be a pilot, if you want to be an air traffic controller, then this is the place you want to be.
Wow. And what about you? Someone who says, "Oh, I can't do it." What would you tell them?
I'd say that you should follow your dreams and reach for the stars, because that's, if you want to go, you can go.
Right.
This is a good opportunity for you.
I like that. And Alyssa, what's your word of advice for those who says, "It's too hard, I can't do this"?
That things look a lot different when you first start. Like, for example, when we first started, we didn't know everyone there, but by the end, we were all friends and cool with each other.
And you were cool with each other. Well, you're cool with me. And I'm thrilled to have you all on the show. Good job. Fantastic. Keep up the good work. Air traffic controllers and maybe pilots too. All right, all of our guests were marvelous and inspiring. I'd like to say thank you to all of our guests, such as Dutch Martin, Anya Wheeler, Tyler Coleman, Trevell Coleman, and Alyssa Hicklin for being exceptional guests. Our quote this time is from General Colin Powell. Whenever you start, give it your best. The opportunities are there to be anything you want to be, but wanting to be someone isn't enough. Dreaming about it isn't enough. Thinking about it isn't enough. You got to study for it, you got to work for it, you got to fight for it with all of your heart and soul, because nobody is going to hand it to you. Thank you for watching Ingrid's World, and don't forget to friend us on Facebook and follow Ingrid's World VA on Twitter and Instagram for instant Ingrid World news. So stay in touch and be a blessing to someone. What are you doing to make your dreams come true?